every week it feels like there's just another wave of AI tools hitting us. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all these automation platforms, voice agents, coding assistants. It's honestly a bit much sometimes. My own list of AI I need to check out just keeps growing and growing.
Oh, totally. It is a lot. And that feeling, that overwhelm, it can actually stop you in your tracks. It's this weird mix, isn't it? Like FOMO, you're scared of missing the next big thing, but also just decision fatigue. There's amazing stuff out there, tools that could seriously help you, but it feels like standing in this massive library, millions of books, no catalog system, no map. And the real kicker isn't picking the wrong tool, necessarily. It's not having any system, to decide in the first place.
Well, welcome to the deep dive. Our whole mission today is basically to hand you that map. We want to give you a clear mental framework so you can navigate this kind of turbulent AI landscape with more confidence. Really turn that overwhelm into clarity.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got a plan. First, we'll dig into this core idea we call the pain meter. Super useful. Then we'll break down what we see as the 9 key domains of AI. Think of it as structuring the ecosystem. After that, we'll sketch out a potential AI roadmap for you, like stages for building skills, know what to learn next. And finally, wrap it up with a smart decisions framework plus some real-world scenarios to make it practical.
Okay, let's start with that foundation then, the pain meter. It sounds intriguing. What's the core idea?
It's actually pretty simple but powerful. Think of every single AI tool existing on a spectrum. On one end, you've got high convenience, but usually that means lower control. These are your out-of-the-box tools, often beautiful drag-and-drop interfaces, super easy setup, great for getting things done fast, but the trade-off is limited customization. They do what they do.
Right, easy to use, but you can't really tinker into the hood much.
Exactly. Then on the other end, low convenience, high control. These are more like toolkits. They might need a more complex setup, maybe even some coding knowledge, but they give you almost limitless customization. You can build pretty much anything you imagine.
So the key question isn't which is better.
Never. It's always. What level of pain, and by pain I mean complexity, setup time, learning curve, are you willing to accept for the amount of control you actually need? Like building a simple FAQ chatbot, a no-code thing like VoiceFlow, probably perfect, easy, fast. But if you're automating a really complex business process, multiple steps, conditional logic, integrating weird systems, you'll probably need tools closer to code or maybe something flexible like N810.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's about matching the tool's complexity to your actual need for control, not just chasing features.
Precisely. And the advice for most people starting out, begin with convenience. Get comfortable. Only when you hit the limits of those tools, then start looking at the higher control options as your needs genuinely grow. Honestly, that approach alone filters out like 90% of the noise.
So, the big takeaway from the pain meter idea.
It's aligning the tool complexity with your real need for control. Don't overcomplicate things unnecessarily.
Got it. Okay, so with that framework in mind, let's broaden the view to the 9 key domains of AI. You said we're starting with the most fundamental. Language models, LLMs. Why there?
Because they're the engines, they're the core technology powering so much of this AI revolution. Everything else kind of builds on or interacts with them. Understanding the main players here is crucial.
All right, lay them out for us.
Okay, first up, Anthropic's Claude. It really excels at writing, creative stuff, and coding. It's known for solid reasoning, following complex instructions really well, and its context windows are huge. Claude 3.5 Sonnet handles like 1 million tokens. That's basically processing a whole thick book in one go. Plus, they have this constitutional AI thing for safety, which is interesting. It's like built-in ethical guidelines.
Okay, Claude for the complex reasoning and writing. Who's next?
OpenAI's ChatGPT. Probably the most well-known. It's the versatile workhorse. Does pretty well across the board. You've got different versions, right? Like GPT-4o Mini for simpler, cheaper tasks, and the full GPT-4o for really heavy lifting. And it's multimodal stuff, text, images, audio is super powerful now.
The all-rounder. Makes sense.
Then there's Google Gemini. Its big advantage. Massive data, trained on like 20 plus years of Google search, often gives you big context windows too, and can be pretty cost-effective for developers. Really strong for research, pulling info together, and obviously integrates well with Google Workspace.
Right, leveraging that huge Google Knowledge Graph.
Exactly. And if research is your main game, you got to look at Perplexity. It's more of an answer engine than a chatbot.
Right.
It gives you answers and cites its sources directly so you can check. Super useful for verification. Different search modes too, like Sonar.
Okay, so Perplexity for verifiable research. What about open source options?
Yeah, that's where Llama 3 comes. in Meta's model. It's the big open source player right now. Cost effective. It's free to use, free to modify. You can even run it locally on your own machine for total privacy, no ongoing API costs, and the quality. It's improving incredibly fast, really starting to nip at the heels of the closed source giants.
Wow. Okay. So lots of choices just within LLMs. You mentioned a pro tip.
Yeah, and it's simple but crucial. Focus on mastering one language model first. Pick one, maybe ChatGPT or Claude, and really dig deep. Understand its prompts, its quirks, its strengths, its weaknesses. That deep understanding becomes your cheat code for figuring out any other model later on.
So don't spread yourself thin. If someone's just starting out, which one?
Just pick one. ChatGPT or Claude are great starting points and really learn it inside out. Okay, so we've got the engines, the LLMs. Next up, automation platforms. What are these?
These are the connectors, right? The tools that let you link different apps together like your Gmail, Slack, Google Sheets to build workflows without needing to write code.
Exactly. They automate the boring stuff. And there are kind of three big players people usually talk about. First, N8N. This one leans towards power users. It has cool stuff like an AI agent node built in. Big advantage, you can self-host it, run it on your own server. That means full data control and potentially massive cost savings if you're doing a lot of automation. It's a bit more technical, but super flexible.
Okay, NAN for the tech-savvy or high-volume user. What else?
Then there's Make, used to be called Integromat. Its strength is its visual interface. It's really beautiful, makes it easy to see complex workflows. Got thousands of integrations, maybe 3,000, 4,000. Great for beginners up to moderately complex stuff.
Nice, visual and powerful. And the third?
Zapier, probably the most well-known, the integration champion. They boast like over 7,000 integrations. It's generally the most user-friendly to get started with. But gotta give a warning. The costs can really climb fast if you have high volumes of tasks running.
Right, ease of use versus potential cost scaling. That N8N self-hosting point sounds important for heavy users.
Oh, it can be huge. We're talking hundreds, maybe thousands saved per month compared to paying per task on other platforms if you're really scaling up. Okay, moving on. Databases and vectors. This sounds technical. When does AI need a memory?
Yeah, this is where things can seem complicated, but here's the simple truth. Most people probably don't need a dedicated vector database right now. Like you said with Claude, modern LLMs have these huge context windows, sometimes a million tokens. Often you can just feed all the relevant information directly into the prompt itself.
Right, that's the core of RGRAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. It's like giving the AI an open book test. You provide the book, your data, in the prompt, and it looks things up from there.
Exactly. So when do you actually need a separate database for your AI stuff?
Basically, two main scenarios. One, your data volume is just too massive to fit in the prompt, even a huge one. Or two, you need extremely fast and accurate lookups from a private knowledge base, maybe faster than context injection allows.
Okay, massive data or need for speed and precision. What are the options then?
For simple needs, honestly, sometimes Google Sheets or Airtable can work for basic lookups. If you're already comfortable with traditional databases, Postgres has an extension called PG Vector that lets it handle vector searches. Kind of adds AI memory to your existing setup. For more advanced RAG, dedicated vector databases like Pinecone are popular, sort of the industry standard. Qdrant is another strong option, maybe a bit easier for maintenance. And Supabase is interesting. It combines traditional relational database features with vector capabilities. Kind of an all-in-one solution.
Got it. But the practical advice is key here.
Absolutely. If your entire data set, the whole knowledge base you need the AI to access, is maybe around 200, 300 pages of text, try just putting it directly in the prompt first. Use that direct context injection. Only look at vector databases if that doesn't work well enough or your data is way bigger.
So bottom line on vector databases.
Only jump in if your data is truly massive or needs that ultra-fast, super precise retrieval. Otherwise, keep it simple. All right, let's whip through the remaining domains quickly. Voice technology first.
This space is exploding, right? Virtual assistants are sounding incredibly human now.
Yeah, it's getting kind of spooky good. What are the tools?
For easy starts, check out Vopi or Retail AI. They often have drag-and-drop interfaces. You can get something basic running in like 5 or 10 minutes. For more specialized stuff, 11 Labs is often cited for having the best voice quality, really natural sounding, and good voice cloning. OpenAI's real-time API is also strong, handles accents well, and can be more affordable. And then for the really advanced full control over latency, security, all that you're looking at things like LiveKit or PipeCat, more complex enterprise grade.
Okay, voice is moving fast. Next up, visual code builders. What's the deal here? These are platforms that let you build the front end, the user interface, and sometimes the back end logic for AI apps, but using visual drag and drop components instead of writing tons of code. Think tools like Lovable, Bolt, maybe Replit in some modes, Base 44. They're great for getting you maybe 60%, 80% of the way there really quickly. But usually for the final 20, 40%, the really custom bits or polishing, you'll likely export the code they generate and refine it using other tools, maybe something like Cursor.
So rapid prototyping, but maybe not the whole journey.
Often, yeah. Good for MVPs or internal tools. Okay, next. Super apps and aggregators.
Ah, the platforms that bundle access to lots of different AIs.
Exactly. They give you a single interface, a single subscription sometimes, to access a whole range of models, text models like we discussed, but also image generators, video tools, etc. Think Ginspark, Manus, Poe by Quora is another one. They're great for beginners who want to try different things without signing up everywhere, or for teams needing varied AI access without managing tons of accounts.
Convenient. All right, what about core coding layers? Sounds like we're getting deep now.
Yeah, this is stuff like Python using libraries like LangChain or LemIndex. Honestly, most people listening probably won't need to become expert coders here, but
Yeah.
just understanding the basic concepts like what an API call is, what an HTTP request does, how functions work, that basic literacy makes all the other AI tools, even the no-code ones, much less mysterious. You kind of get what's happening under the hood.
That makes sense. Understanding the principles helps even if you don't write the code yourself. Okay, generative media.
This is all the content creation stuff. For images, you've got the big names: Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, OpenAI's DALL-E 3. For video, things like Pika are making waves, and of course, OpenAI's Sora when it becomes more widely available. And for audio music generation, tools like Suno AI and Udio are pretty amazing.
Creating content from scratch with AI. And the last domain.
Monitoring and observability. Tools like Langsmith, from the LangChain folks, Arise AI, weights and biases. These are crucial once you start building more complex AI applications, especially in business. They help you track how your AI is performing, what it's costing, where errors are happening. Essential for anything serious or production grade.
Got it. Keeping an eye on the AI once it's running.
Whoa. Just thinking about all this. Imagine an AI agent that could watch a tutorial video, automatically pull out the step-by-step instructions into text, and then read those steps back to you in a natural voice while you work. That multimodal future, connecting voice, vision, language, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, the potential connections are mind-bending.
Yeah.
So with all these different specialized domains and tools, what's the key idea for choosing among them?
It really comes back to matching the right category of tool, the right domain, to the specific problem you're trying to solve. Don't try to force a language model to do complex data visualization, Use the right tool for the job. Sponsor.
Okay, we've explored the tools, the domains. Now let's talk about your journey. We've mapped out a kind of AI roadmap with 5 stages of proficiency. Let's walk through them. Stage 1 is the starter.
Yep. If you're here, the focus is totally foundational. Pick one LLM seriously, just one. Maybe Claude, maybe ChatGPT, and commit to mastering it. Learn prompt engineering fundamentals, the biggest thing here. Resist the urge to jump between tools constantly. Avoid that shiny object syndrome. Deep understanding first.
Solid advice. Okay, stage 2, the tinkerer.
Now you start applying it. Pick one automation platform, Make, Zapier, N8N, and actually build, say, 3 to 5 workflows that are genuinely useful to you. Start experimenting with those super apps, too. You'll also begin to get a feel for which LLM works better for certain tasks. Budget-wise, you're probably looking at maybe $30, $50 a month across a few key tools at this stage.
Practical application. Stage 3 is the builder tester.
Right, this is where integration starts to happen. You'll want to learn the concepts behind vector databases, even if you're not building one yet. Play around with the visual code builder to create a simple app. Maybe dip your toes into basic voice AI tools. The big mindset shift here is crucial. You stop asking what's the best tool overall and start asking what's the right tool for this specific problem I have right now.
Problem-focused thinking.
Nice.
Stage 4, the AI generalist.
Now you're thinking strategically. You can look at a problem and confidently map it to the optimal AI domain. You understand scalability issues. You can start combining different AI types effectively, maybe building a workflow where, I don't know, a voice AI makes a call, an LLM summarizes it, and the result gets saved to a database via an automation platform. You're making architectural choices now.
Connecting the dots. And finally, stage 5, the top 1%.
Yeah, this is the expert level. You're comfortable working in AI-integrated coding environments if needed. You possess that basic programming literacy we talked about. You understand the core concepts. You're capable of building robust production-grade AI applications or complex systems. Full control.
That's a clear progression.
Yeah.
Now, to help make decisions along that roadmap, you mentioned a smart decisions framework. What are the key questions we should be asking ourselves before picking any tool?
Absolutely. 6 key questions. First, scale. How many users will this serve? How many operations or tasks will it run per month? Are we talking tens, hundreds, or millions? Scale changes everything. Second, cost. What's the budget? Think beyond just the initial price. What are the ongoing operational costs? Per user, per API call, per month. Third, control. How much customization do you really need? Is the standard out-of-the-box functionality enough, or do you genuinely need to tweak every little detail? Be honest with yourself.
Scale, cost, control. Okay, what else?
Fourth, integration. What other systems, apps, or databases does this new tool absolutely have to work with smoothly? Compatibility is key. Fifth, maintenance. Who's going to manage this thing? Who updates it, troubleshoots when it breaks? Is it you, your team, or does the vendor handle it? And finally, sixth, data. Where is your data actually going to be stored on their servers? Yours. What are the security implications? Are there data sovereignty rules you need to follow depending on your location or industry?
Scale, cost, control, integration, maintenance, data. That's a really solid checklist. And you mentioned some red flags to watch out for, too.
Yeah. Definitely things to avoid. Number 1, choosing a tool just because it's getting a lot of hype or buzz. Focus on your need, not the trend. Number 2, starting way too complex. Don't pick an enterprise-level vector database if all you need is a simple chatbot for your personal blog. Start simple, scale later if needed. Number 3, constantly switching tools. Pick something, learn it reasonably well, stick with it unless there's a compelling reason to change. Tool hopping creates chaos. Also, avoid building everything from scratch if a perfectly good tool already exists and fits your needs. Don't reinvent the wheel unnecessarily. And related to the complexity point, don't use super heavy-duty enterprise tools for simple projects, like using Pinecone for a basic to-do list AI. Overkill.
Yeah, those are definitely traps to fall into. You know, it's funny. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes, like constantly tweaking prompts, trying to get consistent results from the LLMs day after day. It really is a marathon, not a sprint. And having these frameworks helps keep you grounded.
Oh, absolutely. Prompt engineering is an ongoing practice for everyone.
So thinking about those red flags in the framework, what's the single biggest mistake you see people making when choosing AI tools?
Honestly, chasing the hype instead of focusing squarely on their actual needs and the problem they're trying to solve.
Okay, let's make this framework concrete with some common scenarios. Scenario 1. You just want to automate some basic email filtering, or maybe automatically create calendar events based on emails. What do you recommend? For that, based on what we've discussed, I'd say start with Zapier because it's probably the easiest for those common apps. Or maybe make if you prefer that visual interface.
Exactly. Why? Because these are simple, common tasks, and those platforms have really robust, well-supported integrations for things like Gmail and Google Calendar. Keep it simple.
Okay, scenario 2. You need a Q&A chatbot for your company website. It needs to answer questions based on, say, 20 product specification PDFs you have.
Right. First step, try that direct context injection. Take the text from all 20 PDFs, put it into one big prompt for something like Claude 3.5 Sonnet. See how well it answers questions just based on that. If the answers are good enough, you're done. Simple, cheap. If it struggles, then maybe look at building a proper RG system, maybe using Supabase since it combines database and vector stuff.
Start simple, escalate complexity only if necessary. Love it. Scenario 3. You have an idea for a simple, minimum viable product, an MVP app. It needs to take voice input, transcribe it to text, and then summarize that text. But you don't code.
Okay, no coding. This screams visual builder. Use something like Replit or Bolt to build the basic interface. Then, connect it via APIs to OpenAI, use Whisper for the voice-to-text transcription, and GPT-4o maybe for the summarization. Get the core function working visually. You can always export the code later and have someone refine it using a tool like Cursor if the MVP proves promising. Validate the idea first.
Validate quickly with visual tools, then refine. Makes sense. Last one, scenario 4. You need to analyze thousands of customer reviews to find common themes like feedback about pricing or customer service or specific features.
Classic LLM task. This is perfect for using the API of a powerful model like GPT-4o or Claude 3.5 Sonnet. The trick is to craft a good prompt that specifically tells the model to analyze the review and output its findings in a structured format like JSON. You'd ask it to identify the main theme, example pricing, support, feature X, and maybe sentiment. Then you can process those thousands of reviews in bulk, either by writing a simple script or even using an automation platform like Make or N8N to feed the reviews to the API and collect the structured JSON results. No need for fancy specialized tools here. The LLM itself is the tool.
Perfect, using the LLM's core strength for classification. Now, what about some advanced tips for people who are maybe further along that roadmap, the power users?
Sure. 3 key areas: cost, performance, and data. For cost optimization, don't always use the most powerful, expensive model. Use cheaper ones like GPT-4o Mini or Claude 3 Haiku for simpler tasks within a workflow. Self-host N8N, if your volume justifies it, saves tons on execution fees. Try to combine multiple small steps into a single, more complex API call if possible. Fewer calls often mean lower costs.
Smart. Okay, performance.
For performance optimization, use streaming responses whenever possible, especially for chatbots. It makes the user experience feel much faster because text appears word by word. Implement proper error handling and fallbacks. What happens if an API fails? Does your whole workflow break? And consider prompt chaining, breaking down a very complex task into a sequence of simpler prompts. Passing the output of one as input to the next can sometimes yield better, more reliable results than one massive prompt.
Good points. And data strategy for power users.
Crucial. For data strategy, keep sensitive data on premises or use self-hosted tools like N8N if possible. Understand the data retention policies of every cloud service you use. How long do they keep your prompts and responses? Plan for potential migration. How easy would it be to switch LLM providers or vector databases if needed? Actively try to avoid vendor lock-in where you become totally dependent on one specific proprietary tool.
That data piece feels really critical, especially as businesses rely more on these tools. Thinking about that, what's one aspect power users often overlook?
I'd say that data strategy piece, really thinking through data control, where it lives, retention policies, and consciously avoiding getting locked into one vendor's ecosystem. Looking ahead, what are some key trends people should be watching that will shape their AI strategy?
Well, one huge one is the rise of open source models. We mentioned Llama 3, but others like Mistral AI are also getting incredibly good really fast. This is democratizing access beyond just the big tech companies.
Yeah, absolutely. And closely related is local AI. Tools like Ollama are making it surprisingly easy to download and run pretty powerful LLMs directly on your own laptop or desktop. That means speed benefits, potential cost savings, and complete privacy since your data never leaves your machine. That's a big deal.
Definitely. Another trend is deeper multimodal integration. We touched on this, but workflows that seamlessly blend text, voice, images, maybe even video,
Yeah,
all working together on a task that's going to become much more common and powerful.
for sure. And lastly, agent frameworks. Things like Crew AI or AutoGen. These allow you to set up multiple AI agents, each maybe with a different LLM or specialized tools, and have them collaborate like a team to solve complex problems. One agent researches, another writes, another critiques. It's fascinating.
Wow, AI teams. So with all this constant change, new models, local AI, agents, what are the skills that won't become obsolete, things people should really focus on developing?
Great question. 4 things come to mind. First, prompt engineering fundamentals. No matter how smart the AI gets, knowing how to communicate your intent clearly and effectively will always be crucial. Second, problem decomposition. The ability to take a big, complex problem and break it down into smaller, manageable steps that an AI can actually handle. Third, systems thinking. Understanding how all these different tools and domains fit together, how data flows between them, how changes in one part affect others, seeing the whole picture. And fourth, basic programming literacy. Again, not necessarily becoming a pro developer, but understanding fundamental concepts like APIs, data structures, functions, applications. It just makes you so much more effective at using any tool, low code or not. It helps you troubleshoot and think logically about workflows.
Prompting, breaking down problems, seeing the system, and basic code concepts.
Yep.
Okay, out of those 4 essential skills, if you had to pick the absolute bedrock foundation, what would it be?
Gotta be prompt engineering. At its core, it's about clear communication with the AI. That's fundamental to everything else.
All right, let's
Sir.
try to wrap this all up. The big idea we want you to take away today is this. The AI landscape, it's going to keep changing rapidly. New models, new tools, new hype cycles, that's the reality. But your goal shouldn't be to try and learn or use every single new thing that comes out. That's impossible and exhausting. The real goal is to master a strategic framework for thinking about it all. Understand the key domains. Know the trade-offs, like that pain meter between convenience and control. And make decisions about which tools to use based on your specific needs and the problem you're trying to solve, not just based on whatever's trending this week. It's about solving real problems efficiently.
Couldn't agree more. And to help you put this into practice, here are some concrete next steps you can take this week. Seriously, choose one LLM, maybe the one you already use most, or pick Claude or ChatGPT. Spend just 2 hours really digging into its nuances. Try writing maybe 10 different prompts for the same simple task just to see how the outputs vary, and identify just one repetitive task in your work that you think could potentially be automated. Just identify it this month. Now pick one automation platform, Zapier, Make, N8N, and commit to building your first actual workflow to automate that task you identified. Also, maybe join 1 or 2 active AI communities online, selectively, just to keep a pulse on things. And set yourself a small, realistic monthly budget for AI tools this quarter. Take stock of your current tool stack. Are you actually using all the AI tools you might be paying for? Challenge yourself to learn the basics of one new domain from the 9 we covered. Maybe dip your toes into Voice AI or try a visual builder. And try to build something small that combines maybe 2 or 3 different AI capabilities, like using an LLM to generate text and then an automation tool to email it.
Those are great, actionable steps. It really comes down to this. The best AI strategy isn't about having access to everything. It's about knowing exactly what you need, why you need it, and having a clear path to get there. Stop chasing every new shiny object and start building solutions to your actual problems. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive of UTRO Music.